the forensic science plays a very vital role in the crime investigation. If you see the yesteryear role of forensic science, it was only a passive, in that they never visited the scene of offense and they used to work within the four walls of the laboratory, and whatever the IO used to collect and then whatever methodology he tries to adopt in the crime scene management in his own way used to be the aspect, and the forensic experts have no choice rather than to work on whatever is being submitted. Now, as science and technology progressed further, the days have come where the forensic science acted as in a very active role, in that they were also going to the scene of offense, helping the police officers in all 3 R's of crime scene management, and also in further processing the physical evidences, and also the proper way of packing them and sending them across in the form of a forwarding note. And not only that, they were also helping the police officers in giving lot of leads which tremendously changed the investigation path altogether. Now, the days are not very far where the forensic science laboratory is going to take a very proactive role, or otherwise called as preventive forensics, in that even before the occurrence of the crime, the forensic people will be able to predict or rather prevent the occurrence of a crime, in that they are going to analyze the forensic data in the form of forensic intelligence, understand the modus operandi, understand the patterns of the crime, and then try to predict the occurrence of a crime, thereby prevent the crime. And the forensic science laboratories, as they have progressed, now the present status is that each state has got its own laboratory. In addition, lot of regional laboratories are also coming up depending upon the crime pattern that is occurring in the regionals, and they are also strengthened by number of district forensic science laboratories. And in addition, most of the laboratories by now are also introduced the concept of mobile units, in that they are the first responders most of the time, and depending upon the expertise that is available with the scientist, they form into groups, and then such a group is deputed to the scene where they are able to help the police officers in proper collection, crime scene management, processing, and then also helping them in taking forward the forwarding note, and then ensuring that a proper questionnaire is being put. Now, this is the setup, and the organized setup that is there in the state laboratories. It has got a full-fledged kind of a setup wherein, depending upon the physical evidences that are received, and whether they are biological, physical, chemical, miscellaneous, accordingly the lab is equipped with so many sections, and starting from the biology section, the materials which are biological in nature, whether it be animal or whether it be plant or human, are examined in the biological division. To name a few, the wildlife crimes, where at times the origin of the wildlife products need to be examined, or whether it be the examination of diatoms in drowning, or whether it be the examination of hair in sexual assault, both the pubic hair and then the head hair, or to know whether the origin of a hair strand that is getting entangled onto a weapon, has it come from a particular victim. So these are some of the questions which the IO will be asking while sending such biological material to the biology section, and by performing analytical examinations, analytical tests, required biochemical tests, they will be in a position to answer the queries that have been raised by the IO through the forwarding note. Similarly, the ballistic division is dedicated for examining the firearms, ammunition and the related materials, namely the gunshot residues or the range, or whether a given firearm is a country-made one or a company-made one, whether it is prone to accident, whether there is a defect in firing mechanism, who is the shooter, and then what is the range, whether there is any ricochet shot that is present in the crime scene, whether a particular crime weapon, namely the firearm, fired a given cartridge, or some of the questions that can be answered in the firearm division, or otherwise called as the ballistic division. And there is a physics division where all the physical evidences whose physical parameters need to be examined, like adulteration of cement, adulteration of oils, etc., and the genuineness of currency, and the articles coming under the purview of trademark infringement, and the soil examination, or the glass examination, or the tire tread examination in an accident case, or some of the aspects that are examined under the physics division. In some laboratories, even the document examination or the currency, whether they are genuine currency notes or fake currency notes, is also taken up by the physics. In some other laboratories, it is the document division exclusively that takes up the examination of the currency notes. And similarly, in documents, as the name implies, forensic document examination will be undertaken, where it is examined, a document is examined for its genuinity and its authorship. Apart from these two examinations, there are also other examination regarding the treatment that is meted out to the document, namely the obliterations, erasures and alterations, and secret writings, and also writings on a particular chart documents are some of the aspects. Now, whenever we talk of a authenticity, that is the question document, they need to be examined against a standard and a specimen. So the job of the document examiner is also ask the IO and to send him the standards, both admitted and non-admitted standards, and by comparing the admitted standards vis-a-vis the question documents, they will be able to decipher whether the same person has written the given question document or otherwise. Now, there is also a division called polygraph division, where the veracity of the statements that are made by different people during the process of investigation, the IO tries to interact, and then whether the veracity of the statements of these people is correct or otherwise can be checked in polygraph division. Now, apart from the polygraph division, there is a division called toxicology, as the name implies, toxic poisons. This is the division where the poison cases are referred. After the post-mortem has been done by the forensic medicine doctor, the viscera is preserved in normal saline normally, and they will be sent to the laboratory for the purpose of identifying, isolating, and knowing what exactly is the nature of poison. The type of cases that are referred to poison section or the toxicology section can be categorized into two classes. One is where even after the consumption of the poison, there is survival of the patient. In such cases, it is paramount that we need to examine the nature of poison that is being consumed, so that proper treatment can be given and proper antidote can be given to him, because there are fair chances of the patient to survive further. And other cases are those in which after the consumption of the poison, there is an imminent death, and once the person dies and goes away, now a post-mortem is conducted for him, and the viscera, the internal parts of the body, are collected, and they will also be sent to the laboratory. And of course, any remnant that is present in the crime scene can also be sent. And the question before the expert now is to know whether the remnants of the poison that are present in a empty container, so called, are they the origin of the poison which is present in the viscera. So this type of examinations can also be examined. And not only the human poisoning cases pertaining to animals are also referred to this case, especially wildlife poaching cases, where it is paramount that what is the cause of death of the given wild animal, and then what is the source of that poison. They are going to be crucial questions before the investigation. Now, the biology section, not only, as I said, the biological material, entomology is also, though it's not very many cases of that kind are referred, but still entomology examination is also equally important, where the insects that dwell on the dead bodies are collected and their life cycles are studied, and this will have a correlation with the decomposition of the body, and by back calculation a rough estimate as to the time of death, time since death of the person can also be enumerated. Now, these are some of the almost 13 sections dealing with different physical evidences will be there in the forensic science laboratory. And apart from these sections, there will be a general section of physical evidence enlisting, empaneling section, wherein whenever the forwarding note and other documents, when they are referred to the lab through the police constable, there will be verification of each case. Whenever there is a discrepancy in what they have written in the forwarding note and what they have received, they will reject the case. Otherwise, if everything is in comparison, they will register the case, and an acknowledgement to that extent from the personnel with unique numbering and all will be given to the police constable who brings that evidences. And this kind of acknowledgement is very important, and that has to be filed in the CD. The reason is that it will maintain the chain of custody. If this receipt is not available, then there may be a question that can be raised by the defense that at what date you have seized these articles, and on which date did you deposit. Is there any acknowledgement to that extent? If the prosecution fails to establish this particular linkage, then on the count that there is no proper chain being maintained, the case may get diluted. And this is about the organization structure and the mobile laboratories and regional laboratories, the state laboratories, and the role of the forensic science laboratory in the criminal investigation.